couple of things too. So the bird song, we have a memory, a cellular memory of bird song. And when so historically, whenever our ancestors heard bird song, they knew that the environment was safe, that there were no predators around. And because of that, our nervous system has that kind of memory response to hearing bird song, and it downregulates us just a little bit more. And then silence. Silence is wonderful. We've managed with silence to kind of build in a little bit of fear. So in our television programs, when it goes silent, we're waiting for the thing that's going to make us jump. But silence, when we do it mindfully like this, we call it active rest. But silence, when we engage in it, in the way that we're offering it to you today as part of a breath work, um, it allows our bodies to do all of the magical things that it does without asking us, that it does automatically. So we call it rest and repair, the state that we go into, but it is so much more than that. There is so many other things happening in our bodies when we allow some space, some silence, and some calm into our day. One of my favorite things that it does is silence encourages us to build new neural pathways. So it's like an integration method. The things that we've experienced become pathways in our mind. So, as someone of a certain age, I quite like the idea of new neural pathways being built. So that's what silence does. That's what silence does for us. So, for those of you who like to have a little bit of fair warning, you don't have to remember this, but the four breaths that we are doing, because I am so bumbling, I'm going to read them. So we're going to start with awareness, as we always do, and then we're going to move into a very slow and gentle nose mouth CCB, conscious connected breath. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. Then we're going to move to rectangle breathing. So similar to box breathing, but with a slightly different count, a slightly different flavor. And then finally, we'll finish with coherence breathing, the balanced breath. So what else do I need to tell you? So we only really have one rule here, and that is to be comfortable. So there are no prizes for feeling physical discomfort and pushing on through. Um, just move, kind of make yourself comfortable, make those little micro movements that just help you to soften into the space. So whether you're seated or lying down, just allow yourself to do what you need to do to be physically comfortable. Um, that said, whilst we do encourage movement, we don't encourage you to stand up, or at least we don't encourage you to stand up quickly. So we know you're at home and that you might have the need to get up and, I don't know, answer the door, for want of a better example. If you do, just pause for a while before you dive out of your breathing nest, because any breath work, we always do gentle breath works here, but any breath work can leave you feeling just as if your equilibrium isn't quite there. So just allow yourself to really settle into your body before you move. We don't want you getting dizzy or falling over or anything like that. You might also want to vocalize as well as move. And again, you are muted, so nobody in the room can hear you. So as long as it's comfortable for you to vocalize in the place where you are, um, then please go ahead and let yourself express what needs to be expressed. And although we say being comfortable is our rule, and we do mean it, there are occasions when breath work, it is work after all, takes us to the edges of our comfort. So that might be emotionally, um, it might be kind of mindfully, it could bring up memories or experiences. It could be um, like a completely new spiritual experience that you've never had before, and it might feel a little odd. Um, Again, we're not going to ask you to push through that, but what we might suggest is that you, what we call sit with it, that you stay with it for a little while on that edge of your comfort zone. Stay with it and see if staying with it softens it a little, and that it brings you back. It expands your comfort zone sometimes when we do that. But if it really doesn't feel good, if any of the breath invitations don't feel right for you today, um, even if perhaps it's your favorite breath, but today it's just not settling, like try it for a little while. And if it's really not right for you in the moment, then just breathe with us with your natural rhythm or choose a different breath. Um, Most of you have been with us often enough to have a few different breaths that you could try. But being in the space, giving yourself this time and space with your natural rhythm is just as profound as long as you are focusing on the breath. It is just as profound as any of the breath styles or techniques that we might bring to you. I think sometimes the most profound thing we can do is listen to ourselves and respond accordingly, as opposed to that pushing through. So I think I've covered everything, have I, Maria? I'm getting a nod, so that's good. So I'm going to invite you now to make yourself comfortable. So whether that is seated or lying down, um, whether you have a blanket or whether it's a little warm for you, whether you have layers you can take off, maybe you might want some water to hand, whatever it is you feel like you need. You might want a journal even to hand. Whatever it is you feel that you need, getting that together. And then beginning to bring your focus and your attention to your breath. Perhaps you might want to close your eyes, or perhaps you might want to lower your gaze. And as the birdsong begins, just allowing yourself to listen. Making those micro movements that I mentioned to bring your body into as much comfort as is available to you. And just bringing your focus to your inhale. Noticing how the breath is entering your body. Through your nose, through your mouth. No need to make any changes. Just be aware. And then bring your attention to the exhale. Noticing how the breath is leaving your body. And notice the difference. Perhaps your exhale is longer than your inhale. Or maybe your inhale is longer than your exhale. Or perhaps they feel pretty even. Notice how the breath moves through your body. So on the inhale, can you feel the expansion? Your rib cage moving up and out. Perhaps your belly moving. Maybe your shoulders. And on your next exhale, noticing the contraction or the release, the softening in your body. Notice if you can send the intention of your breath beyond your lungs, beyond your diaphragm. Perhaps there's a part of your body that is tense or giving you pain. Maybe you can move the focus of the breath to that part of your body. And without expectation, just notice if it can soften a little. But indeed also notice whether it tightens even more with the focus. And perhaps you might notice the thoughts that have been running through your mind. As you've been scanning your body, connecting with the breath. Maybe you've already seen a change in tempo of those thoughts. Maybe there's some things that you can perhaps box away for a little while. Put them to one side just until the end of the breathwork, when you can open the box and pick them up again if you wish. And as we go into the last 30 seconds of this track, and enter our first moments of silence. Just staying aware, but perhaps intending rest.
And as the birdsong gently brings the silence to a close, just taking a few moments to notice what that silence felt like. Maybe it felt like it lasted 2 hours, but equally maybe it was over in a blink. And just noticing, knowing that either is absolutely perfect. And in our next segment, I'm going to invite you to a very slow, soft, connected breath. And we are going to breathe very consciously. I'm going to invite you to really focus on the inhale as the air enters your body, and then letting go and just watching the exhale as the air leaves your body. And I'm going to invite you to, if it's available, to take that inhale through your nose, but then to let the exhale go through your mouth. Just beginning very softly. Just beginning to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Don't worry about any connected breaths yet. And maybe on your exhale, maybe there's a sigh that needs to be heard. Maybe as you inhale through your nose, bringing that breath into your belly. And you don't have to fill up your lungs, but bringing the breath deep into your belly. And maybe now focusing a little bit on the inhale, turning into the exhale. And on the exhale, turning into the inhale. And noticing, is there a gap there? Is there a slight pause? And maybe trying to make that pause a little bit smaller. And maybe noticing, can you make the breath continuous? Still breathing very softly, very slowly. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Maybe breathing out through an open mouth, or maybe breathing out through pursed lips. Keeping the inhale soft and slow. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Again, just checking the breaths going to the bottom of your lungs. And again, noticing, is there another sigh that might need to be heard? And allowing that if there is. We're in the last minute of this breath, so maybe just another couple of really conscious breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. maybe after your next exhale, just allowing your breath to come back to its natural rhythm. As we prepare to go back into the silence. Again, just inviting rest, nothing else to do.
And as the birdsong begins again, just noticing how that silence felt. Perhaps it felt different to the first silence we held, or perhaps it felt the same. No right, no wrong, just noticing. And for our next breath, we're going to breathe a rectangle. So each of the long sides of the breath and the short sides are pauses. And you can choose the length and the style of your rectangle. I'm going to start you off by encouraging you to inhale for the count of 3, hold for the count of 2, exhale for the count of 3, and hold for the count of 2. However, you might want to choose a different rhythm. You may not even want to count. You may just want to inhale, hold, exhale, and hold. And let the rectangle be a little misshapen. That's fine too. So on your next exhale, just pausing for a little. And we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, pause, 2, exhale, 2, 3, pause, 2, inhale, 2, 3, pause, 2, exhale, 2, 3, pause, 2. Now you find your own rhythm, maybe breathing to the music if you can find the beat. Maybe just letting your body find its own rhythm. And remember our one rule of comfort. If the breath feels uncomfortable, adjust the length of the breath or of the pauses. The magic in this comes from being able to notice what you see in the pauses, noticing what you feel. And if all you're doing is pushing, you won't be able to do that. And if you've drifted a little, just coming back to the breath, inhaling, pausing, exhaling, and pausing. We're moving into the last minute now. Maybe just extending by one count the inhale, the pause, and the exhale. Just for one round. And then letting your breath return to its natural rhythm. And as we move into the silence, just noticing what's present, noticing what's there.
And again, as the birdsong begins, just reflecting on that silence. Again, noticing, is it different to the other ones or exactly the same? Knowing that there's no right answer, there's no better answer. And for our last breath style in this session, we're going to invite you to coherence breathing, to balanced breathing, where you're invited to make the inhale and the exhale the same length. Now, you might do that by counting. You might do that by using your fingers, bringing the tip of each finger to the tip of your thumb. Or you might do that just by setting the intention and allowing the body to bring the breaths into balance. And again, I'm going to invite you, if it's possible, to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose again this time, keeping the breaths soft and gentle. And we're going to begin by breathing just 2 breaths together, all of us on the same count, before you're invited to find your own count. So at the bottom of the next exhale, just pausing for a few moments. And then we're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And just continuing now with your own count. Maybe that count was just perfect. Maybe it was too long. Maybe it wasn't long enough. Finding your own count and breathing softly and gently. there's no prizes for the longest count or the shortest count. So as you breathe, if you feel that your count's just not right, changing it until it feels a little better. And you might find as you breathe that maybe the count changes. Maybe it gets a little longer, or maybe it gets a little shorter, and that's okay. About halfway through, so just noticing, have you let the breath pattern maybe fall away? And if you have, just beginning again. No judgment, just gently beginning to inhale and exhale and balance those breaths. And just checking again, do you need to change the count? Maybe it's beginning to feel a little forced. Maybe it's beginning to feel a little fast. And maybe if you have been counting, maybe just letting the count fall away and just allowing the body to keep those breaths balanced. almost ready to go back to the silence, and maybe you'll bring the balanced breathing with you, and maybe you'll invite your natural breath rhythm back. And either's fine, just allowing yourself to rest.
And as the birdsong begins for the final time in this session, just allowing yourself a moment of reflection, not just on the silence that we've just held, but on the whole session. Remembering how it felt to arrive and just noticing how it feels now. And just allowing your breath to deepen, to sigh out the exhale, to bring some gentle movement to your hands, to your feet, perhaps to your neck and your shoulders, maybe even stretching, maybe gently tapping. Just connecting once again to your physical body, noticing the surface that you're lying or seated on. And then just imagining the room around you. And then maybe blinking open your eyes and just looking at the room around you. And noticing that what you imagined is there in real life. And then your invitation is to bring your attention to the Zoom room, noticing that you're sharing this space with others.
As you make your way slowly back, and there is no rush, and before we put off the recording, I want to draw your attention to the links that we have in the chat if you're here in the Zoom room with us, and they'll be around. They're in the community, they're in resources, and they're in events, and in YouTube they're probably below. And the recording will go up on YouTube. All our recordings do, and our YouTube channel link is in the links. But the recording also goes up in our Exhale library. And there's a link there where you can sign up to the Exhale library free, where you'll get the recording. You'll also get a breath of the week and lots of information about all different breaths. There's also resources there. There's lots of things for you to have a look at. But when you click the link, you'll also see that there's the next tier of our community, which is the Acorns. And the Acorns is the active tier of the community. And in Acorns, you're invited to hold the whole community for just one day in the month. Now, you don't have to hold all day, you just hold for an hour and 11 minutes. And then, well, the aim is to have 30 people, and we haven't quite got 30 yet. So maybe you're feeling the call to do that. And when we have 30, you'll be held all month. And you'll also do your time of holding. And we also have a community space there where we just get together and chat, ask questions, whatever happens. The other information on the in the chat is about our longer breathworks, and we do 2 longer breathworks every month. One of them's on the fourth Friday, which just happens to be Friday coming. And on Friday coming, we're breathing with the energy of Leo. And then the other one is the second Sunday, which the second Sunday in August, we're breathing with the oak tree. We breathe with natural astrology on the fourth Friday, and we breathe with the Celtic trees on the second Sunday. They're both at 7 p.m. and they last for 2 hours. And then the last link is, as usual, our directory listing. And if you're not in the community, you can contact us in the directory, but also you can leave us a review if you feel so called. We still get really excited about reviews. So yeah. So that's what is in the chat. And just before I put off the recording, just to remember that breathwork changes things inside. So we need to be very careful, and we need to tend and take care of ourselves after we've done any breathwork, whether it's very gentle like this or not. So making sure you drink plenty, keep yourself hydrated, maybe eating nourishing food, all the things you know to do, getting out into nature, journaling, noticing what comes up over the next day, 2 days, 3 days, and just being aware. Just being aware and noticing, just like we did in the breath work, and generally being kind to yourself. So all that being said, I'm going to put off the recording so that we can open the room if there's anyone who wants their voice heard.